Hi everyone, welcome back to Adventure of a Lifetime, Emily's Route, Episode 6. And I'm pretty sure this is the last episode for Emily's Route because Emily will be departing the Ogasawara Islands today, and this is the ferry that will be taking her home. So I'm not sure what's going to happen next because Emily is leaving the islands with 0 accomplishments. So even though she found the ring that the father was going to use to propose to the mother, she lost it, and Chisa and Hiroki can't find the ring in time before Emily departs. And even if they manage to find the ring somehow, I don't think Hiroki is able to give the ring back to Emily when he returns to mainland himself, because I do feel that the mother is trying to get Emily away from the bad memories of Japan, and they're going to move over to the West, the Americas, away from all those bad memories and start over fresh as a new leaf. So let's see how it goes towards the end of Emily's route. So they're waiting at the Futami port, or the ferry was waiting at the Futami port. It will be carrying back all of the vacationers who had finished their summer holiday. The sound of the taiko drums fill the air as the people gather to send the visitors off in the traditional style. So it's quite interesting that they're holding this very interesting, elaborate celebration to bid farewell to all those tourists. So this is how it always is. So they do this every time then? So I was like, well, this is the time when our population is going to decrease drastically because all the tourists are going home after the end of the summer holidays. So in addition to the regular ferry, cruise ships stop at Futami, so this tradition was, as Chisa said, quite famous. So not just the ferries and the cruise ships, but some of the other smaller boats are going to leave as well, so. So I wonder what Ryota is saying, like we're sending one out as well. So a bunch of boats and commercial yachts were waiting to follow the ferry out to sea. It was a way for the islanders to show their gratitude and offer a bit more fun as people left. And I wonder if it's one of those, see you later, come again soon. Well, Emily didn't seem to be in the mood though. Well, I guess it's time for me to go then. Well, there's still some time before the departure time. But don't worry, once I get home I'll text you, so. Well, I'm gonna miss you, so make sure you stay in contact with me. Well, take care, Emily. Well, do your best. I'm gonna miss you, so. Well, same thing here. Emily waved, a smile lugging at her lips. Come on, Hiroki. Bid her farewell as well, so say goodbye to her. Yeah. After a small push from Chisa, I stood in front of Emily. Emily? So what is it? So take care of yourself over there, back home. Okay, you too. Okay then, well then, so goodbye. Emily boarded the ship with a little more than a bag. Well, there's still a lot of time before departure though. Okay, so she left. It's quite sad. Okay. So things like, well, it's quite sad that Emily just wanted to leave without saying much, even though there's still some time before the ferry departs officially. But for Ryota, it's like, well, it's okay. We have more interesting things to do together, activities to do together. So what are you going to do then? Well, I'm fine here. I left the port, shoulders slumped. Okay, so we're back at the cafe, and so I worked out in the cafe parking lot, cleaning off the outrigger canoe so that I could return it to Ryota. Oh, so like, well, we borrowed it from Ryota, so it's time to give back to him. It had been a huge help this summer. So I think it's making Chisa sad as well. It's like, well, you're kind of showing us that you're ready to go home as well, and it's going to be quite lonely once you leave too. Well, I'm headed home on the next ship, so it's better to do it now than later. Well, why don't I get everything all finished before rushing everything at the last minute? I sprayed water over the propped up canoe and brushed furiously at the dirt of the hole. So, are you saying, or like, are you fine saying goodbye like this? No, I'm not. Then? Well, no one told me saying goodbye would be this hard. I was always the one leaving, so I didn't realize this. So at least he understands how Chisa's gonna feel once Hiroki leaves too. Well, all of my visits to the island had always been as a guest. I'm pretty sure he's still a guest as well. I never really given any thought to the warm welcome and the goodbyes I had received. So now you understand how I feel, right? Huh? Well, you won't understand. But that's why it's so hard. I'll probably never see her again. Okay? And I'm pretty sure we know why. Well, Emily and I couldn't say, see you next time. Well, making such a promise was frightening. Besides, memories faded and things would change. The distance between us would be too great for such a simple promise to survive. So, why don't you tell her, oh, come on, just stay a little bit longer. Where's that? What? Well, that'll never work. Well, then again, Emily promised the mother that she was going to go home on the next ferry, so it's really hard to change her mind. Well, if only I believed in things like this. If only I could believe that no matter how far away or what the future brings, our love was strong enough to survive. Then we would be able to finish the grand adventure together. But just when we had found our treasure, the lost engagement ring, had slipped right from our fingertips. And our treasure was lost forever. Well, you know, Grandma said the weirdest thing. So what is it? So what is it then? She said, the risks you take on your adventures aren't always obvious right away. And I wonder what she was trying to tell me. It wasn't very nice of her to mess with me while I was already feeling down. But I guess it's something for Hiroki to experience himself, because I'm pretty sure if Grandma told him earlier, he wouldn't understand. My expression, sour or dour, I went back to cleaning the canoe. But then, something twinkling is spotted. I know something. Huh? Wait a minute. At first I thought it was sunlight reflected off a puddle. But upon closer inspection, wait a minute. Is this it? Could this be? The light continued to glimmer off of something caught in gold thread. So wait, what is it? What's wrong? Says Chisa. Nothing. I looked in the direction of the Futami port. Wait, the ferry's still there, right? Yeah, so it looks like departure time isn't here yet. So it took off. So I'm pretty sure we know what this thing is. So why would Hiroki be rushing to the ferry before it departs? Wait, where are you going? I reached the port just as the ferry was taking off. So I think he didn't make it, because you can hear the engines starting, so it's time for the ferry to leave. Where's Ryota? He is... So Ryota was just boarding his family's fishing boat. So what's going on, Hiroki? What's with this rush? Oh, I have to go after Emily. Or we have to go after Emily. Well, it's too late. It's past departure and the ship is taking off. Well, I don't know, but it can't end like this. So I ran over to Ryota. What's wrong? Let me in. Let me on. So Chisa, you too? Okay, all goes well. Well, either way, I'm tired, so I'm just gonna go back home and... Okay then, so just the three of us, Ryota, Chisa, and Hiroki. So a crowd of boats and commercial yachts follow after the ferry. So the ferry departed and Ryota is trying to catch up to the ferry on the request of Hiroki. And I wonder if there's enough horsepower for this boat to catch up to the ferry, because I know yachts, they have, or like the ferry probably has really powerful motors, maybe in the 10,000 horsepower, or like they have like 4 motors that run at 10,000 horsepower. And that's very powerful compared to what kind of motors on this boat for Ryota. So the passengers on the ferry looked out toward the boats and waved. And the tourists really enjoyed the celebratory send-off. So the send-off was what brought people back to the island. So come again soon. And a lot of visitors to the Ogasawara Islands were repeats. Hey, Emily! Come back here! I yelled to the top of my lungs. but there was no sign of her. So she's probably trying to put this all aside. It's like, well, when I get home, it'll be better. Well, I wish she had a cell phone. Chisa was getting impatient. Hey Emily, please come out. The ferry would keep its speed down until it reached the open sea. So there is a little opening for them to catch up to the ferry before the captain puts it at full throttle. But most of the boats trailing the ferry had already stopped. And I'm pretty sure the boat that Ryota is using, it doesn't have enough certifications or requirements for it to be able to go out to the open sea as opposed to the ferry. That's one of the reasons why many ships, they stay in the vicinity. And people from the boats started diving into the sea. That was the climax of the send-off. The tourists leaving the island applauded as they watched. So what about Phin, or Q-Taro? Just then a single dolphin leapt from the sea. It was Phin, Q-Taro. The ferry's passengers got even more excited at the performance. So I wonder if he's going to help Hiroki deliver that ring to Emily. So more passengers gathered to watch. And then I see her! It's Emily! So Emily had probably come out after hearing that Phin or Q-Taro was doing a show. Hey, Emily! I screamed until I thought my throat would burst, my arms flailing like crazy. So Emily notices something. It's like, what is it? It looked like Emily had noticed us, but she was too far away to hear me. As she stood there staring at us with a puzzled expression, I raised up the item I had found in the canoe. That's a good thing. So at least Emily can see what is going on. Huh? Wait a minute. So is that the... There's a platinum ring sparkling in the sun. So we can see why this ring is special, because it's platinum and that's very, very expensive metal. So the engagement ring that Emily had lost. Well, there was no way she could see the tiny ring from here. Or from there. But even so, she seemed to realize what was in my hand. Well, at least the ring sparkles, and that would give Emily an idea of what it is. Well, I swear, I'll get it to you. I'll bring it to you. Wait, what is she doing? So, what's Emily doing? So as I had been making my oath, Emily had started climbing onto the ship's handrail. Well, I wonder if the ship deck is still too high for Hiroki and her to reach or connect. Well, I'm sure the captain of the ferry would notice as well, and Emily would be in big trouble. Hey Emily, wait a minute! So she leapt into the sea. Hey, Ryota! Ryota hurried to bring the boat closer to the ferry. Emily? Wait, Hiro-kun! I wonder why. I think he's at the limit of how far the boat can go. So any closer, the small fishing boat might collide with the ferry. Okay. So, with no other options, Hiroki just goes into the sea. So you okay, Emily? Well, maybe not. Wait. Don't pull me under. I'll get you. Just calm down. So I held on to Emily as we both began to sink when something suddenly pushed us back to the surface. Oh, so we know who this is. A gray triangular fin broke through the water. So great job, nice catch, Q-Taro. Hello? Well, you guys need to do better, Phin seemed to say. Emily, here you go. So I found it tangled in the outrigger canoe. Hey, look, your hair. So Emily's hair was caught around the ring, which in turn had gotten stuck to the canoe. And the long golden strand held on tight, as if nothing could separate it. So I pulled the golden strands from the ring. So there's evidence of how it might have gotten stuck on the canoe. It's like, I see your hair follicles on it. And then took her hand. So I slipped it onto the ring finger where it fit perfectly. Emma was close to tears. Well, I love you, Emily, and that won't change no matter how far you go. I believe that now. Well, I'll be waiting. So we see that, okay, so to the right is the boat that Ryota has, and to the left is the ferry, and we see Emily and Hiroki in the middle with Phin circling them. So we held each other as our lips came together in a kiss. And we could hear the applause and the whistles from the ferry passengers and the boat crew. So it's like, wow, so an engagement right in the middle of the waters. That's quite special. Even the ferry staff that had come out to rescue Emily stopped to applaud. Congratulations, Emily! Wow, what a ride! And she's just jealous, like, oh, I can't believe this is what they can do. And as we kissed, I suddenly understood what Grandma had been trying to say. There was also a chance that the treasure chest at the end of your adventure might be empty. But you couldn't let that ruin everything. And you couldn't fear the empty treasure chest, because beyond the empty chest, the true treasure awaits. And love was the greatest adventure. Well, I didn't know if that was true or not. But if I feared that adventure, then Emily and I would have no future. Well, I love you, Emily. Same here. And it brought us together. Emily and me. And the ring and the summer of adventure on Ogasawara. So this is the credits, and I'm going to go ahead and let it go all the way to the end. Because there seems to be some time for the credits and the epilogue. Even though it's going to go quite slowly. And if you're not interested in the credits, you can go ahead and seek ahead to the epilogue. "9 years later." Okay, so we're now in the epilogue, and let's see how it ends with Emily's route. So summer has started in earnest. Also on a ferry headed to Chichijima in the Ogasawara Islands. So there's Chichijima there's Chichijima now. It was so long. Or it's been so long. And I held my fiance closer to me. Oh, so there it is, and it's the same as before. Her golden hair danced in the wind as she spoke. So I wonder how others are doing. So Chisa, Ryota, Chinami. I'm sure they're fine. Well, Chisa's coming back to the island just to see you, she said. So after high school, I had gone to culinary school. and I achieved my first dream of becoming a chef. I worked hard and saved money. And I wonder if he took over the cafe of his grandma. So now it's time for my second dream, opening a restaurant. And that dream would soon be coming true too. So I'll be taking over Grandma's place, Machiko's cafe. There you go. So he was able to take over the cafe and keep it from being closed for good. Well, Grandma was doing fine, but she had closed up after the summer 9 years before. Oh, so there is an absence of 9 years. It was finally time to reopen. And I wonder if the building is in good condition and they have enough supplies, because that's going to be a problem. But, are you sure about this? About what? I mean living in Ogasawara. It's in the middle of nowhere and can be a real pain. Well, I'll be okay. Well, Chisa would say something like, we get these types sometimes. People come here, go diving, and never want to leave. But then it helps make the island more lively, versus people just coming here, they feel that this is not the place for them, and then they go home and go somewhere else. Because well, we know that the islands is so much different than mainland. But it was true, my grandfather was one of them. The problem was housing in Ogasawara was almost as bad as the center of Tokyo. There wasn't much land, so development was restricted to protect the environment, and there are few houses available. Oh, so housing issues. Okay. Well, that's a big problem in many places. Not just Japan, the mainlands, and Ogasawara. Even here, housing is an issue. It's like, well, even mom and dad can come and visit us from time to time. Well, great. I can't wait to see them. That's spelled wrong, not seen. Well, Emily's parents never got that divorce. So after seeing the ring on their daughter's finger when she returned, they had a change of heart. It's like, okay, well, maybe we should reconsider the divorce and shipping Emily to America in the West. So over the last 9 years, Emily has slowly rebuilt her relationship with her father. That's good as well. And as far as I can tell, they got along better than most biological parents and children did. Hey, remember that time when you jumped off the ferry? I think she remembers, she just doesn't want to be reminded of it. Well, you really don't remember, and after all, the trouble that you had caused. So she does remember. It's like, well, it was your fault, so. Ha ha ha, yeah, that was a little crazy. When I laughed, Emily went red and glared at me. So after they got her out of the water, she got a stern talking from the ship's captain. It's like, hey, what were you doing? That was quite dangerous, and it's like, if you're on my ship, I'm responsible for your safety. Well, some of the tourists had recorded the whole thing so you could still find it on video sites. It became a kind of viral proposal. And I'm pretty sure it's going to be quite embarrassing and bad for the captain, because I'm pretty sure his boss is going to go, hey, why did you allow this to happen on your ferry? Yeah, that's true. So that summer remained one of our proudest memories. and our most successful adventure. In all the memories we make, we continue to carry those throughout our lives. And someday we would sit down with the little one Emily carried in her belly to share the memories. So the legacy continues on. So I held my fiancée closer as we stared at the coastline of Chichijima. So, destination approaching. Well, it's time for another new adventure. I'm not sure how much of an adventure married life is going to be. Okay. Emily said with a coy smile. So life is an adventure, isn't that right, Hiro-kun? It sure looked like I wouldn't be bored as long as I was with her. And the end. The end of Emily's route for Adventure of a Lifetime. Okay, so I'm back at the title screen. So my take on Emily's route, it's quite decent, but I wouldn't say that it's special compared to some of the other routes I played from other titles. But there is one element that I enjoy, and it ties into problems in real life with families. The fact that the father spends too much time with his work, that he forgets or neglects the wife and the kids, and becomes too distant or detached that it leads to a divorce. And there is one movie that talks about this, called Click, where the main character gets a remote control that lets him fast forward and see what happens if he continues his workaholic lifestyle. But for Emily's dad, he does admit his mistake, he regrets, and wants to make it up somehow. But for him, it's like it's too late, there's nothing I can do, and I might as well just move on and face the consequences. But thankfully Emily's here to help, and she wants to find a way to bring the mother and the father together again using the ring, which leads to this story. So looking at this from the pole top and Moinlava perspective, Emily's a lot like Kotori from If Our Heart Had Wings, where we have this female character with a big dream and wish, and it's up to the main character and the other female characters to make this wish or dream come true. And I believe the same goes for Hikari from A Sky Full of Stars and Aroha from Pierce on Garden. So speaking of If Our Heart Had Wings and A Sky Full of Stars, I have plans on trying to get through at least the common route and the two divergence routes, but those titles are about 7 times the size of this one, and if I was to go through everything, it'll take maybe about 150 or more episodes to get through both titles, or each title. So hopefully I can get my 5th set all ready to go and make some room for them. And if you haven't done so, you can go ahead and see what happens if I pick Chisa's route to go with after the common route. But with all that said, I'll see you later in a future playthrough on a future game.